Hey guys, welcome to Waste Not Wednesday. We go live Wednesday. We take junk or things that we're going to be getting rid of and we turn it into home decor that we're going to sell. Today's a little different because the week is a little different. We had Valentine's Day yesterday, which we attempted to take off from work, but we were unsuccessful part of the day, but we still did score a nap.
No dice. There was a midday nap, but most of the day we worked.
Intermittently. I mean, that's just life. We had an IOD release, so that was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And we are going to be doing our normal paint-a-palooza that we normally do on Tuesdays, and we need to get our thrift haul painted, and we're just switching that over to Wednesday. So that's what we're doing. These are all thrifted finds. I do have some
scrap wood projects if we get around to that.
Yeah, this is a lot to paint in an hour. We'll see. If you want to shop along, visit JamieRayVitchich.com for the paint and products that you're going to see here used today for the new IOD that just came out. Nothing here cost us over $4. A lot of it was like 75 cents, and we just need to get it done so we can get it in the shop. Why don't you talk to him about that tray first?
So this tray was part of yesterday's video, and we did not get it done because it was not dry. I ruined a little bit of transfer putting it down when it wasn't dry, and it just kind of powdered and the adhesive didn't work on here. So we sealed it. I tried it again, same story. So what I got, I just got to let that sit overnight. This transfer is coming off pretty well. I actually set it down there when it was still wet and tried a little piece over here, and that piece didn't stick. So I'm like, I'm just going to leave this, see if we can salvage it once it's all dry and cured up. So far, I've only had one little spot that won't come off, and I think we can distress around that. But I'm going to finish putting this on and another little piece over here. This is out of the new IOD transfer, the Iron Orchid Designs, the Bungalow is what this one's out of. If you didn't catch the release yesterday, we still have lots of stock. You didn't miss out. There's still a lot of things available. So.
And I am actually just finishing. If you guys watched our Saturday thrift haul, I got this box 90% done, and I'm just going to finish the rest of the way. This was my $4, 75-cent grape box from week before last. If you saw that video, it had grapes on it. And this is the JRV stencil border pack for the new it's transferware, not to be confused with transfers, but dish transferware border pack. And I just needed to go around the side. So that's it. All I'm doing, just finishing this up. This will dry, and then I will go ahead and wax this all up. And then I'll get going on another project here. But I really wanted to just finish this one so I can move it out of the way.
So I knew that I knew that the paint wasn't quite dry. It was still a little tacky, and I knew better than to put the transfer on there, but we were in such a hurry trying to get the video done. Jamie had to go somewhere, and it had already gone long, and we were trying to get it edited and up so that we could release the video right when the sisters went live, when the release happened. So anyway, I didn't wait, should have waited, knew better, and now I'm dealing with ruin a bit of transfer, but it'll end up being okay in the end, I think.
In the end, let me give you a prelude to that. In the end, it all works out. Like whatever it is, yeah. Especially when it comes to paint. Okay, so I'm moving to the next project. What was our plan with this?
I think I have some construction adhesive out if you want to try to glue that and just fill it.
It's already glued, but I think it's
pretty strong, but there's like a crack at the bottom that's going to be visible if you don't.
Okay.
If you don't do something.
This was hot glued. I'm going to actually come and put construction adhesive, and then I'll take a damp rag and pull off any excess, and I'll set that in the back to dry. And then I'll work on probably getting started on the ginger jar. We want to do paint inlays with you. There's this new paint inlay that came out from IOD. It's got a bunch of small elements, and we did it on a bucket the other day, and it turned out pretty great. So I thought we'll probably wind up doing that. We even have some, like a couple of weeks ago, we bought some plates. Those, but nobody bought the plates, so we didn't finish painting them because we're like, well, it's one less thing we have to do.
We'll paint them once they sell, kind of thing.
Yeah, but we got to get them out of the garage. So I think we're going to work on those and do some paint inlays.
All right, I've almost got this. I need to get a shorter screw.
Yeah, well, people have been sending us links to better ways to do this, but
this works fine. Is it better? They're still having, like, the stuff people send us, it still screws down in.
Yeah, but it's like easier. Zeb likes his way.
I usually have a drill handy, but I've got all my drills over at the barn right now because I was doing that shed together. Hopefully that video gets edited between today and tomorrow and gets up on the chicken coop build.
That's on the Homestead channel. It's the Jamie and Zeb channel.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't subscribed yet, it's been a little bit. We were all gung ho, but it took a little bit longer to get a few projects done than we anticipated. It's just life, you know. You just do the best you can.
Well, it's winter. It's been stormy. Harrington's. It's not this cold here. Like today, the high is 30, but Harrington's up in Park City right now, and it's -5, and the snow is higher than the signs on the side of the road. He sent me a video. He's like, I gotta go get a bunch of trash cans and move them today because he delivers and picks up trash cans for new move-ins, or if a can gets missed, he'll go run pick that up. He's in charge of that. He's got like a team of guys that work under him, but mostly, from what I've seen, he ends up doing it himself. And he's all the way up in Park City because they can't keep a guy steady up there, so he goes and covers up there.
Park City's about an hour away from here. So he said, I can't wait to see the chicken coop build. Just so you know, like preemptive, I want to control expectations. The chicken coop that he showed the idea was not the chicken coop that we built. The chicken coop we built was a shed from Costco.
Yes.
And then we got these big buckets from Lowe's. We turned them into nesting bins. Anyways, you'll watch the video. We did upcycle an old ladder for roosting, so that was kind of cool. But the chicken coop itself is not really what I would say is like.
It's very functional.
Yeah. You do know you can get eggs even if your chicken coop isn't pretty.
Yeah.
So strange.
The chickens don't care. In fact, 9 times out of 10, you'll have a hen or two that
nests somewhere
goes
else
and just drops them out in the field somewhere. And like, yep, that's good. That'll do.
All right. I'm gonna do what color should I do on this ginger jar?
I don't know. Let's take the sticker off though.
Well, that's important. But should we do?
Someone was like, "Do you even clean your stuff?" We're like,
yeah, I'm cleaning it right now.
We're like, we'll get the dust off. We're gonna paint it.
If it's greasy,
yeah.
And I clean like any side, like inside of it and stuff. Brandy says I use feed buckets for my horses for nesting boxes. Hey, whatever works. So should I use skeleton key? I'm just trying to think of what will work best with the inlay.
Skeleton key. The inlay, you probably need to go bright. Like there's some.
I'm just gonna go crinoline.
Yeah.
Just gonna go with my initial thought. All right. So first, I'm going to paint the top of this. Do you think we're gonna have to do? Yeah, it's gonna need multiple coats. So when you're using the inlay, you have to put the inlay on when the paint is wet. So like in this case, we're going to have to paint 2 coats on it to get full coverage.
Opposite of the transfers. Inlay paint needs to be wet. Transfers, it needs to be way, way dry and cured up.
Yes. So since this is going to need 2 coats, I'm going to have to paint it and then come back to that situation. So it's going to be a minute. If you came here for the paint inlays, you're going to have to wait till we get everything transferred over, painted. All right. Ali says, can't think of the word. Alley Cat says, can't think of the word. Brain fog is wicked this morning. You and me both, Alley Cats. I just feel like, I don't know, I have ADHD, and I feel like when I have a lot to do and I don't make a list, my brain just flexes all over the place and I have to bring it back in. All right, look at that.
I'm going to add
So what's the name of that transfer?
Bungalow.
Bungalow.
The bungalow.
We really wanted to include it in the video because
it was cool.
It's cool, and Queen Bee and Bungalow are such a good match. Like they just pair really well together.
I think I might do this bird just right here next to this one.
Catherine said, I haven't tried inlays. I'm scared. So I actually think the inlay we're going to be using today is really great for beginners because there's so many elements that if you screw one up, it's not like the whole inlay is lost. There's so many other things to practice with, and there's little small elements, so you can start with those, and it's just a really great way to learn.
I mean, you have like the fear right on out of it.
50 options of things you can inlay, and you can just keep working on it till you figure it out. And once you do, you'll be like, oh, that was easy.
All right, wonderful grid system on here. Gonna cut this flat and then round the edge. I might have to, I'm hoping not to cut some of the bird off to fit this in the bottom. But this has usable elements on it still, so I'm gonna save this.
All right, those are gonna. You want me to paint the trays too?
So I think right here.
Where are all those little trays that we had? The plates. Oh,
they're over there, right by your
see,
elbow.
alley cats. I wasn't kidding. These are all just wood trays, plates that we picked up at the not the craft store.
Thrift store.
Just a second.
We use the thrift store like our craft store.
That's what my brain was thinking, but my mouth wasn't saying it. So we picked these up at the thrift store for $1.50 each. And they're kind of dated. So I'm going to go ahead and give them a paint finish, and then we'll come and put some inlays on them. Oh my gosh. The Rusty Trike says, if my kids don't end up with someone like Cooper, I'm going to cry. Cooper is pretty great.
He definitely went extra for Valentine's Day.
True story. Zeb and I had a good Valentine's Day. We had a nap. We got dinner at Costco. We ate breakfast. We ate breakfast out and realized we should have just stayed home because it was really expensive, and we can make good breakfast.
I don't want to pat myself on the back, but
you are good at breakfast.
I make pretty good breakfast.
True story. So yeah, what else do we do? Oh, I bought some new shoes. That's it. Hung out. We watched Star Trek. I don't really like to go do anything for Valentine's Day because it is ridiculously busy here where we live. Like every restaurant is a nightmare, and it's just not worth it.
Like you go somewhere, even when you've made a reservation, you're still going to wait an hour or more.
Yeah. So we just don't eat. We don't really do much on Valentine's Day. I almost put some in my water.
Right. I've almost got this so it'll fit in the corners good.
Debbie likes the jungle transfer.
Yes, it's good. The bungalow.
The bungalow.
If you're looking for it on the website, bungalow. We probably should add
at JamieRayVintage.com.
We probably should add jungle to the tags.
Bungalow, jungle.
Caitlin, if you're watching.
Caitlin's on here.
Don't let us forget, because we've been, the last couple of weeks have been such a whirlwind. If we don't do things right now, it gets forgotten and pushed to the side.
Caitlin says she will do that. We have to do it. Well, it's like Debbie says, things just fall off your conveyor belt. All right. So the paint color, this is crinoline. That's what I'm using. I'm just putting down a base layer of paint before I put an inlay on these plates.
So this transfer should go on here real nice and easy because the paint is very cured and dry. And I actually sealed it in an attempt to get the paint dry, and the paint underneath the sealer was still not dry after I heat gunned it. So now that it's sat for 2 days since Monday, it's nice and dry, and this transfer should go smoothly.
Well, Queen Bee is yellow, and yellows are traditionally need more coats of paint. So we had to put multiple coats of paint. So it was on there pretty thick to get coverage and just took way longer than we expected to dry. But it looks really good.
I think it's going to be a fun color with these birds on here.
And I'm just painting crinoline. But eventually you have to.
What would we call those? Chargers, plates?
They're plates. They're wooden plates. Chargers are bigger. But eventually you have to get the random projects out of your garage. Well,
we were hoping to keep these and hang on to them until we found enough domes at the thrift stores to...
We can still put domes on them.
To put domes on them, but they might sell after you get done painting. Someone might be like, oh, I've got a dome I can use with that at home.
Or they might just like my plate because it's next level. Well, I thought you were going to say we were trying to get the garage cleaned to park in it this winter, but this winter is going to be gone.
That was like...
We gave up on that dream.
That was like I needed to get the chicken coop done in September before we went to England and France, and that didn't happen either.
What did you seal the trays with? Oh, this tray, what did you put on this?
I used the new Final Finishes from Sweet Pickens, their new sealer that's out. We've been using that quite a bit, and it's pretty awesome stuff.
Yep, it's satin or whatever. It's not all natural, so if you want all natural, you can just use DIY's Big Top. It'll work really good too. And you want to make sure that's all the way dry. You can put transfers on top of paint that has not been sealed. Debbie has a whole video on it, but I think it's easier if it has a liquid top coat. And if you do distress it, you better make darn sure that all of the dust is off because the transfer will not stick to dust. It has to have a really good surface. All right, I got one more plate.
They have like warning after warning on the back of these.
Deborah loves the yellow. This is the same yellow that was on the mushroom
The yellow was a bit
container.
risky on the mushroom container, but with the dark wax, there were two camps. People either were like over the moon about it, or they're like, I wish you wouldn't have done yellow.
Ellen just said edges. Don't worry. I will paint the edges, but I'm going to paint the top and I'm not going to worry about the edges because when we're no longer live and the front is all the way dry, I'll flip them over and paint the back and touch that up. It's not really that exciting to watch me paint in the first place, so I'm not going to make you watch me paint the bottoms of these.
We got to get to the fun decor.
We got to get to the fun stuff. But I will get them. I promise. If it's bothering your OCD, I don't know. With my ADD and ADHD and people with OCD, sometimes we get together and it's like a hot mess express, but we do our best. Oh, Kathy says, I like what you said about mixing whites and creams in your decor together. Yeah, I do all the time. I have a cream blanket on my couch right now. In fact, that's Cooper's favorite blanket. For whatever reason, it's like one of those big crochet ones. He likes to put his toes through it. But it's cream, and then my house is like everything else in my house is pretty white. I mean, the floors used to be white, but they need to be either repainted or redone. All right. I'm going to grab the heat gun because I'm running out of space.
So this is actually transferring pretty easy. I've just got lots of little elements that I'm really making sure are down before
Do you need sandpaper, sweetie?
Move on. I might need a
distress
little bit of sandpaper, yeah. There was a butterfly that I was going to put in the top, but now that I've got two birds in here, I don't think I'm going to use that butterfly. I'll save it for something else.
I don't know. If there were a couple random butterflies, that might be cute. Look at this one. There's a bee here. So you can put a bee on one side and a butterfly on the other. Because there's a lot of negative space up there. Been cleaning at my brother's, almost missed it. Love the new IOD. The new IOD is super fun. And Cooper said it is true. It's like one of those things. He like finds the blanket when he comes.
It's like a sensory thing. It's like, where's my toe blanket?
The other day, Cody put his paw through it. So thanks for sharing, Ellen. The tray is very maximalist. Less is definitely not more for that one. That's what Brandy is saying. I agree. I feel like we need a couple more elements on the top.
You want me to put the butterfly in there? I can.
And there's a bee.
Yeah. I did cut the bee off over there.
So you can kind of put the bee like here and the butterfly there. I don't know, because you have two birds over here, so it's a little heavy on that side.
Yeah, these transfer pages are full. There's 8 per pack.
Do the transfers hold up to heat? No, you should not get them hot. Is this plate broken? Oh, Odelia, put that over to the side there. Ain't nobody got time.
Looks like someone ate it.
I know. I don't think it's real wood. I think it's MDF.
No.
So I think we might have to sand it and then.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
If not, it was
that plate has been demoted.
It was like 75 cents or $1. I can't remember. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it.
Debbie's shop is only open a couple days a week. Renee, is Mom going to be there on the weekend? I don't remember. I have so many dates in my head right now. I take it a week at a time, and then Steph sneaks up on me. All right, once these are dry, then I can figure out which paint inlays I want to put in them, and then I'll put another coat of crinoline, and I'll lay down the paint inlay, and then get them damp and set them aside to dry on their own while I work on some other projects. Daisy said I had a really good singles awareness day. Hey, it happens. Before I met Zeb, I never had anybody on Valentine's Day that I was interested in. I did have a boy send me flowers one time, but the feeling was not mutual. In fact,
hey, have you seen those Victorian, like the 1800s? They call them like vinegar grams or something like that. Basically, it's like a really like sassy, rude way that was acceptable during the Victorian era to tell someone to back off and like leave you alone. And so they would wait until Valentine's Day and just drop bombs on people. And some of them are pretty crude and sassy.
This is how little I was interested in this guy. He sent me a ginormous bouquet of flowers. And it said, I won't tell you the name just in case he watches me. I doubt he does. It said love whatever his name was. And I was like, I'm going to say Joe. The name wasn't Joe. I was like, Joe who? So I literally went through my head with because they didn't put a last name on there, for every Joe that I knew. And about 20 minutes later, I was like, oh, it must be that one. And then he also asked me to my prom. That was weird. I said yes. The weirdest part was when somebody else was dancing with me because he went to the bathroom and I was being dipped and he walked up. I think he got the memo after that.
Okay, butterfly and bee coming. So I talked about saving this because it has elements. This would also be good, like if you had the side of something, like save all these pieces. Don't waste your transfer pieces because you cut them apart.
No, we have a transfer graveyard, but inevitably we always need it from time to time. All right, I'm going to grab the inlay. So this is the melange, and I like the name of it because I will not forget it, because there's ephemeral melange, which is the little transfer pack that has all the elements, and this is the inlay melange that also has a ton of elements. So this is definitely one, this and maybe like the rose chintz I would buy.
Oh, we've been on half an hour already.
If you were just starting
What
out
happened?
in inlays, because you can use little elements on it.
It hasn't been half an hour. It's been 22 minutes. Camera, get your act together.
Cooper says they also used to send flowers to people in the Victorian era to make them smell good because they didn't shower hardly ever. Odelia's flowers make the whole upstairs smell good. So winning. Oh, look, somehow there's a little tiny element of that transfer in here.
I might use it.
Oh, here's your butterfly.
Once again.
Catherine says little heartbreaker. You know, he wasn't getting the memo. Finally, he asked, oh, you know, he didn't get the memo that night because a week later he asked me to be his girlfriend, and I gave him some spiel about how I don't think I want a boyfriend right now. I don't want to settle down. But then like 2 weeks later, I did have a boyfriend, but there had been this guy I was actually interested in, but this guy kept like inserting himself. And it didn't really matter because 3 months later I met this guy. And then I never had to worry again. Should I try this one again and see what it looks like for a second image? This is the one I used on the video that we put up yesterday, because you can use it multiple times. So I'll do that.
Okay, now we got a bee up there. And then the butterfly, I want to do,
These are pretty.
we'll angle it a little
Are you
bit.
still using the scissors, sweetie?
For just a second. There's another pair in the drawer if you need them.
No, I can wait. I can share.
Can you?
Can I? 1, 2, 3. So I need 4.
She's good, Cheryl.
Actually, no, I kind of want these to be all the same amount of transfer. So I'm going to save this for something else. Because every time you use them, they get a little bit lighter. But I want these to be the same amount of darkness. That makes sense. So that's that one. There's this flower. There's part of this transfer is a little serving dish. Would it be weird to have a serving dish on one of these? I think it'd be cute. You see this little serving dish here? I vote yes. I'm just going to keep using up this sheet. Zeb, the reason why he wants to use MDF is because of this sheet. He really wants to make a sign.
I want to do
with
the
this
whole rooster on there. I might still get to it.
I don't think so. I don't think you're going to have time. It's already 10:22. How did that
I don't know.
shrink so fast?
I told the camera to stop acting up.
You told the camera
it is almost 3 years old.
3 years ago, that camera, we're gonna have to start a GoFundMe if we had to buy a new one. That thing was expensive.
The nice thing is I can sell it.
Well, you didn't sell the last one you said you could sell.
This one.
You can sell it, yes, but are you going to sell it? As the question. Okay.
Sometimes it's hard to get all your ducks in a row and get things organized.
My ducks aren't in a row. They're all over the pond. Some have left for the winter. All right, I've got 4 of these here. All right, next step is you do need to I feel like with transfers, it's kind of like second nature, but inlays are a little bit different. So I have to think before I act. So I now picked out the ones I want. You want to have it ready to go because once you lay the paint down, you put the inlay in and you don't want too much time to pass because the paint needs to be pretty wet when you put the inlay in. You also don't want the paint to be too chunky. So, make sure it's nice and evenly spread, not too thin, not too chunky, somewhere in the middle. I tend to overpaint stuff. So I'll just show you. All All right, the transfers are one use, but the inlays can be used up to 3 times. Now, do know that like this has crinoline on it, so the next time I use it, some of that crinoline will get on it. But you can make some really great paint effects by using the inlays. I'm going to go around the edge first. Get this edge here for the peeps watching.
Really easy to create like your own ephemera with it.
Yeah, you can make things really fun, layered textures.
Because it's actual paint. It's not just sitting on the top. So you can seal it. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff.
I'm still not painting the bottoms of these though, because that can happen later. I'm getting this edge done and then I'll get the middle. Now you don't have to go like speedy fast. If you get the paint on there and you get the inlay down within like a minute, you're good.
All right, I think we've got enough on our scene here.
Is it maximalist enough?
So that was actually 2 pages. One page would have been enough because I had cut like some big ferns off of this part. But that's the part I ruined. If you're just joining, I ruined this paint trying to put the transfer on before the paint was all the way cured up on Monday.
I probably should cut those words off.
Let me go find some.
If you don't like it, like you can always
go.
just paint over it. It's not the end of the world, especially with the melange, because there's so much going on in that inlay that you could just use something else. It's fine. Okay, once you get on there, you got to get it wet.
So you may notice the bottom of this is not painted. We will come back, paint the bottom. On the live stream video, like setting it down, I don't want paint like all over the drop cloth in front of me here because I'm going to be doing other projects. So we paint later on the bottoms.
I have been painting more of the bottoms of things because people have been complaining, not customers, but like people watching. So I'm trying to be better. I can't promise I'm ever going to be 100% better, but
like I'm not going to go paint the bottom of a big armoire that's never going to be seen unless you're like got it on the flat on its back in the back of a truck.
All right, I'm just making sure this is getting all wet. This is kind of like putting on a tattoo. If you guys have ever done the temporary tattoos, that's what this is. You can also use a brayer to like mush it down, but you want to get it wet. Sometimes if you have a lot of paint and it's thick, you'll get like a line of where the inlay was. So you either need to do the paint thinner or you can just like sand it and touch that up. The nice thing about the inlays are that it doesn't look like a sticker. Transfers, not that that looks like a sticker, but if you get close enough, you can tell that it's vinyl. This is just paint on paint. So it's next level.
I also should have waited to distress this because now I do have yellow everywhere.
Yeah, thanks.
Yellow powder.
It sounded like you said yellow power.
Powder.
Powder. All right. Next, we're going to do the little urn. Jamie sometimes adds words. Did I say something wrong? That is true. They're paint inlays, and he's using a paint transfer. If I added a word, I'm sorry. That's why Kaylin's here. She's my translator. So do you know that you will get some like of the...
That might be from my non-clean.
No, when you sand, you can get some of the transfer onto the paint.
Yeah, because it is pigmented.
It is pigmented. So just know that. If you don't want to have that happen, don't distress it.
You want a nice, clean, non-distressed look.
I called them transfers and transfer inlays. Okay, these are paint inlays. He's using a transfer. There you go. If I'm putting it down into wet paint, it's an inlay. If you're putting it on dry paint, it's a transfer.
So look at all that dust I got. And it's not all yellow. From distressing that in there. Okay, now I'm going to seal that up.
Leslie says she needs a translator for her. It's nice when somebody can understand what you're saying after many years. I mean, Caitlin's known me all her life. But I've been sleeping super well like the last. Oops, well, I guess that's going there. Just got stuck.
Oh,
like the last probably few days, and that always affects my train of thought. It's mostly centered. I don't know that I could have done it better if I like actually tried to center it.
So this is the final finishes. I think you can get this in up to a gallon now, right?
Yeah.
It's very thin. It's formulated to work with milk paint to help it not chip when you're sealing, which it does do that pretty well. Sometimes milk paint, you go to seal it and it's already chippy and then you get even more chippy. And this is formulated to help not get super chippy. You might still have some come off. I'm not going to disclaimer, you might still get more chippy, but it helps.
Any idea when the new paintbrushes will be in? Nope, they're on their way. We will keep you updated via email though, because Caitlin has been on it. We're hoping that anytime
we are in contact at pretty much every day with Debbie. So as soon as she has them in her hot little hand, we will get them and get them out to you guys. I'm
sorry. Caitlin is sending an update today.
Honestly, I know you guys have been waiting a long time, but I think it's going to be worth the wait. These brushes
so
look amazing.
I've been holding out from opening any new brushes of my own just to use them. And I'm like, I need these new brushes like yesterday.
And I think that she's going to sell out. So if you didn't get in on the pre-order, you might be missing out for a while because they're going to be that good. Do we even have any left that we've committed to? Or did we sell all the way out?
What?
Did we sell all the way out of brushes or do we have some extra?
We got some more. We ordered plenty. Okay. That's centered. Zeb is a lot better at eyeballing things than I am.
Although I'm getting older and, you know, my eyeball is not what it used to be. Maybe my hands are just shakier than they were 10 years ago. We'll say that.
You know that the transfer is ready to be pulled back when the paint's dry and the transfer, it's going to go like kind of not pasty, like what's the word? You know, cloudy. And then you got to get it wet one more time and pull it off. That's how you know. And the nice thing, did I say transfer again? Inlay. The nice thing, you guys, there's the instructions on the back. So if I mess up a word,
if you forget a step,
don't worry. The IOD sisters are on top of it. Debbie says they're worth the wait.
Yep.
Okay, fourth plate coming up here. And then I didn't even have to like heat gun my little ginger jar, so that should be ready here in a little bit.
All right, all sealed up. Once it dries out, the highs and lows on this DIY paint will settle back down. That's 2 coats of sealer on the bottom now. I just wanted to seal over that transfer to give it some durability since this is a tray I'm probably going to get set on. I'm going to set it aside so that it can dry, and then I'll bring it back once we're getting towards the end and show you again.
And I'm still just dropping stuff in wet paint over here. Let's call it stuff instead of inlay so then I don't call it the wrong word.
All right, so this, we washed it real good, but I'm going to give it a little sand just to give it some tooth because I am going to paint this. Many moons ago, I'm sure you guys have seen people stamp IOD since then, but I had never seen it before. Not saying I was the first because it's hard to be the first in anything in 2023. But about 4 or 5 years ago, I started stamping rolling pins, and now it's all over the place. But anyway, going to stamp this because it's been a long time since I've done it.
And I will show you these plates when I peel the inlay off up close, because right now it just looks like a piece of paper with a design on top of wet paint. So not very exciting.
I actually think I'm going to go crinoline on this too. Light. We'll keep it light and airy.
Okay, I'm going to need that back in a second.
Okay, I'll hurry.
I'm getting to my ginger jar here. Working my way through these plates. Okay, I will show it to you though. There we go. That's just before you pull the inlay off. So, all right, we're gonna let these air dry. I may have to heat gun them a little bit because it's live, but I really don't enjoy heat gunning inlays. Okay. Thank you. Caitlin just dropped the link for the pre-order of the DIY brushes. If you have not pre-ordered, because like she said, we have email that we should get them in the first order when they do come in to Debbie. Okay. Where did I put did you put the, here it is. Now
I haven't been moving anything.
I've been moving a lot of stuff and I shouldn't be. Okay, now we're going to pick what's going on our ginger jar. It is going to get another coat of paint. I think this is too big. This is a little more complicated because it's curved. So let's see if I can get it to do what I want. Oh, that page is kind of fun. You're blowing my paint inlays. I'm going to practice calling them the right thing.
I got to unroll this hose.
I'm thinking I'm going to use this element right here. It's got lots of curlicues, some beautiful words, and it should go across the front of this well. So we'll try it out. Is the hardwood tray on the website? Yes. If you go to JamieRayVintage.com under Saturday Thrift Haul, it's just wood. And it's from last week. So if it's still available, it'll be like on the top part of what's left from last week's thrift haul. It won't have the updated photo, obviously, because we haven't finished it yet. But as far as I understand, it has not been purchased yet. But we will get it fixed and up on the website. If it doesn't sell before it's finished, then I will update the photo when I take it to the shop. Oh, thank you, Caitlin. She just dropped the link for you guys.
All right, let me borrow that crinoline back again. Oh, it's still in front of me. You didn't use it.
Nope. I was picking out my inlay. So I'm going to paint the back side of this. Actually, I think I'm going to paint the front that I'm going to put on so I can lay it back. And then I'll paint the rest on the other side. It'll just have to be neat. That'll be easier. I don't know, Zeb. This is going to be all wrinkly. You think I'm going to be able to get this on here?
Yeah, just put it into the paint.
All right.
Remember, it's going to get distressed.
All right, I'm going to take the words off of it on the bottom. It's going to get stressed, that's for sure. Is this a Paint-A-Palooza? It's a Wednesday Paint-A-Palooza. We're probably, although I did eat, I've been trying to not eat till 11 and do intermittent fasting, but I was getting hangry this morning, so I had some keto granola. But I don't think you
I didn't eat
ate
anything
anything,
yet.
so I don't know how long we'll be able to go.
I'm fine.
You're fine. You're not hangry.
Not yet, anyway.
This morning, you could just like feel it creeping up. I'm like, I am angry about things that I shouldn't be upset about. I'm like, oh, you know what? I need to eat. But I've been trying.
You got to keep that blood sugar up.
Yeah, I've been trying to do where I don't eat. I eat from 11 to 7, and it's worked out okay. But today, I think it's just because I got up super early, so I've been up for a while. We went to the gym, and I just really needed to eat something. So I was like, I'm not going to be stupid. I'm going to get some food in me. I ain't going live when I'm angry, because you're not yourself when you're hangry.
Nope.
All right, so I'm just getting this crinoline on here where the inlay is going to go.
I say just plop it on and smooth it out as best you can.
Ask questions later.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the inlay that I'm using is really, really versatile, and you could get a lot of projects done. This may not be the best representation on this rounded surface, but it's fine. We'll see what it looks like. Like I said, there's so many different elements that if I don't like this, I can just paint over and do something else.
All right, I got to go get my ink.
Do release cuts around the inlay. Well, that would have had to been done before now. But Athena, you are correct. I was actually thinking about that as I was laying it down. It's fine. It'll all be good. Or it won't, and then I'll paint over it.
Somehow I grabbed the green ink pad this morning when I was getting prepped, and I don't want green.
You don't want a green rooster or whatever it is you're going to put. Are you
I don't know
floral?
that I'm going to do the rooster. There's so many more things on these stamps, and we already did the rooster once.
Yeah, we gotta mix it up. We can't do the same thing over and over.
So just IOD, the Iron Orchid Designs Decor ink in black. We carry everything we've been using except for the thrift haul items is at JamieRayVintage.com.
Well, and these thrift haul items may or may not be available. I don't know what's sold and what hasn't, but you can always check for them because it's from last week. Some of the items that we had in yesterday's video will not be available till this week because they're
part
the
of this
upcoming week's thrift haul. And we always just wait and do it one day a week. We upload it, just keeps everything fair and even. I've actually already had people message me about a few items. I'm like, I'm sorry, I cannot pre-sell them. Not even for family. Caitlin's cute sister Des messaged me this morning. I'm like, I'm sorry. People have already seen it, so it has to go on the thrift haul. Like, but you should get our app. That way you'll get a notification when we go live.
What is it she's wanting?
She wants the mushroom.
Oh, the pot?
Yeah, if it sells, I'll just make her one specifically. It may not be exactly like that, but I could replicate it. So I'm just painting the area where the inlay isn't, and I'm going to have to touch up a little bit because I messed it up when I was putting the inlay on. But put butter in with your meals. I have super crazy high cholesterol, Deb. And so because of my thyroid issue, so I have to be careful. I do eat a decent amount of butter, which is why I got into this situation. But even with having my own source of raw, fresh milk and butter, I still have to be careful. If they can get my thyroid figured out, then my cholesterol will most likely fix itself. But
so I'm thinking, all right, I think I'm just going to leave this on here, stamp a bunch of these, and then just roll it on and see what we get.
That would be cute. All right, Monica, that's a good question. I actually did answer it this morning, so you might not have got the notification from YouTube on the door that we did on yesterday's video where it was crinoline and I did dark wax. She said, could you do it the reverse? So my thought was if you did weathered wood and white wax, you could use a lighter wax, and that would be fun.
All right, so ink, you have a little bit more open time with the ink than the paint. If you're using the DIY paint to do this, you are going to lose some detail, although I've been able to get some pretty crisp images, but just know that you got to hustle.
I'm just going to paint these crinoline, and when we're no longer live, I'm going to give them a good, well, maybe while we're live, I don't know if we'll get to it. I'll give them a good distress to bring back a lot of the wood grain.
Okay, so I think that's probably enough to roll all the way around.
I do hear a lot of people say that if you do straight up keto, that it does help because you don't have the carbs with your cholesterol, but here's the reality. I ain't doing that.
Okay, so just stamped this whole thing, and now I'm going to just roll it on here as straight as I can.
People have to live with me, and I have to be super functional. I don't have a few weeks to go through the detox. I can't even imagine. You'd have to send me away. Did it turn out amazing?
It is so good.
I'm over here complaining about keto, and Zeb's creating masterpieces over there.
I missed one little thing on the horse, but I think it's going to be all right.
That's cute. Now everybody's going to do that with their rolling pins. I said I was going to paint the handles, so I hope whoever bought it doesn't get mad.
You know, it's easy to sand off. You get an orbital sander, some 80 grit. This will all zip right off. Looks like I missed a little bit there, but I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to sweat that because most of it's good.
It's going to be. That's the antiquity stamp.
Like, how cool is that, guys? Is the camera even focusing? There we go.
Oh, good. It hasn't sold yet, so Caitlin's going to fix the title. Just make it just say that it'll be painted. We're going to have to do that with like a lot. I feel like that'd be cute to do.
Like I didn't even pull the stamp off. Like all these stamps are just where they go on the stamp pad.
Did you push hard or?
No, I just rolled it on. I mean, I gave it a little pressure.
You're like a stamping ninja. I'm over here painting candlesticks and.
All these now, because the ink has open time, don't just go setting this down. I'm going to heat gun it real quick and try to get this dry because the ink does take a hot second to dry. It's like when you have like an awesome fountain pen and then you close your notebook and now you've got double-sided backwards print.
Are you going to paint the handles too? Yeah, probably a different color.
Yeah, I'll probably paint them
dark so it's a good contrast.
Yeah,
like weathered wood or little black dress.
I'm thinking Oh, shoot.
Or old school.
Old school. That's what I was thinking.
We've been loving the old school. Mostly it's because we use weathered wood a lot, and people are like, I'm tired of seeing weathered wood, but I wanted something dark. And I'm like, you know what? Let me try old school. I haven't tried that in a while. Let's get some to have at the house. And I have been loving old school. It's got kind of a blue undertone to it, but it's still a dark gray. So it's been a good one. The truth is, all the DIY colors are good colors, so you can't go wrong. Although I do need a different color. What color? Do we have any like Farm Fresh or Apothecary or
We've got
anything?
some fun, bright sea glass.
Well, I want to do this. It's your piece you bought here with the little handles. Are we going to take the handles off?
All right, so we've got, excuse me. We got 2 things of sea glass, and then I've got some Salty Kiss over here. We've got, if you want to go real crazy, we got some Kissing Booth, some Marquee, Liquid Sunshine. That's another Salty Kiss.
No Apothecary?
We have French Millinery.
French Millinery is good. Because I want it for this, and I don't want anything too crazy. I hate these handles. They're coming off.
Told you. If you watched the live stream, we talked about this.
Did you talk about that?
I did.
It's fine. I don't like them. I'm going to get some sandpaper, though, because I don't want anybody to get scratched.
Here, I have this. Oh, there's 80 grit in there.
Yeah.
Okay, got some old school out. Let me move my stamp. So that was the Antiquities stamp that I used. It's going to be loud.
I'll go in the other room.
And it has, let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 elements, separate elements on there. It's perfect for small decor like this, which is what most people are painting. We found that there's a few people out there that'll go big and do huge pieces of furniture on a regular basis, but most people are going thrifting and they're doing something small.
Or at least it's a good way to start out. Like you do something small, then you go bigger. We actually were the reverse. We started on furniture long before we ever did thrift flips.
We have, once spring hits and I can get the spray gun out and just put it out in front of the barn and spray, we're going to have a spray day.
Monica says, I scored that, LOL. In the thrift video, Zeb said you take the handles off. Yep. You knew it was coming. This looks better.
But we're gonna spray a bunch of furniture, but we still have it probably won't be till April, to be honest. Because we're mid-February and it was 19 degrees last night and the high is 30. Although once March hits, it's hit and miss. Like by the time we get to mid-March, it can get up into the 70s.
We're taking the kids to Disneyland next week because Odelia has cheer nationals over there. And the thing they are most excited for, it ain't Disneyland. Everybody's like, I'm going to wear shorts.
Well, the winter hasn't necessarily
Somebody
been...
on Facebook bought the urn and wanted the handles on. No, they can't go back on. We'll have to refund them. I didn't know that. That's why when the things will be painted, it is what it is. But yeah, they won't go back on. Sorry. Oh, my mic. Thanks, Pat.
But yeah, it hasn't necessarily been like any longer than any other winter, but it's been a really wet winter, lots of snow, lots of storms, even some rain mixed in there. And I think everybody's kind of over it, but we've needed a wet winter. Like we've been in a drought, and even with all the extra rain
We're gonna need
and
a few
snow,
winters like
we
this.
need a couple years in a row like this because we get all of our moisture in Utah from the snow-capped mountains.
But if we don't have enough moisture in the ground when the snow-capped mountains come down, then the water comes off the mountains and then the dry ground just soaks it up, and so it's not useful. So we kind of need both. We don't need a huge amount. Like we need way more snow on the mountains than we do in the valley, but we do need some moisture down here.
Yep.
thought there was something on here. All right.
All right. 2 coats on there. We're going to leave that alone.
That looks really good.
And then I'm going to distress everything a little bit.
Are you going to leave the natural wood on the ends?
Yeah, because this one
cool.
says it's fully. I'm going to distress that though. This is the fully rolling pin that we got 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yes. All right, so this is going to get a white dry brush to bring out all the details. I'm glad this French millinery is gone on because I think already it just looks a lot better, lighter and brighter. I just think there's going to be a lot of people at Disneyland next week with Cheer National, so hopefully it's not miserable. Oh, Caitlin just messaged me. She said they had asked after I'd already taken them off. Yeah, you'd have to try to like weld them back on, and they'd never be very sturdy once you take them off. Did you see how easy I took them off?
They asked in the video just now not to take them off?
I thought maybe I had missed it, but it was after they were already gone. But even so, I can't always monitor.
Yeah, we don't make any promises, even if you message us.
But we could try to make promises.
We try sometimes, but I'm going to get a new piece of sandpaper.
This is going to dry. Is that glass ceramic thing you are painting? This is metal. But the urn that I was doing earlier is ceramic. It's terracotta. All right. I have a lot of people ask me about putting painted items on my counter. DIY paint is actually like if it gets on my counter, if it's not sealed, I can wipe it off. No problem. All right, let's go back to this urn. I glued this up the very beginning of our show here. Construction adhesive is dry, so we'll go ahead and get this painted. This side we see bumped the candlestick and took some paint off. Oh, it's okay. I'll fix it later. Thanks, Monica. I was going to say something before I read that. Oh, well, whatever it was, it's gone now. It's fallen off the conveyor belt. I need to probably second coat those. They're a little streaky. Now I need the stamp set since you showed them how to use it on the rolling pin. It's good. You can also use it on wrapping paper.
You can do that with any stamp set. Just
bags for gift bags. Like any of the stamp sets that have those images like that look so great. You just repeat the stamp over and over again. Oh, no, I was going to say, I need to fix the camera.
Oh, has it been bad a while?
I mean, a minute since I first thought about it.
There, hopefully. All I did was do some distressing.
Monica, no, it's not you. Don't worry about it. You guys just keep commenting. I need to complete my train of thoughts, then look at comments. I know. At least the vertigo is mostly gone. I don't want to say all the way gone because it still does affect me, but man, that was rough. When I was on live videos and had vertigo so bad, I was trying to hold it together, but there were sometimes I was like, oh no, my brain is all over the place. It was affecting my vision too. But the show must go on. All right, so I'm using French millinery here. I don't know if it's reading gray on camera, but it is a lovely lavender with a gray undertone.
All right, so this is tung oil, all natural, non-toxic, food safe. I don't know that I would, this is painted, so it's going to be decor, but I'm going to use the tung oil because I think it's going to really richen it up.
Yeah, we're not using it because it's food safe, because you can't, I wouldn't use that to roll your stuff out. It's to be cutesy.
Yep.
It's kind of like when people have fancy kitchens, but they don't actually cook. Same concept.
I don't know who those people are.
I don't know either, but I know it happens because I see it on TV. They're like, I don't actually cook, but they need something.
It goes with the house, right? It's an investment.
Right. Do I know why I get vertigo? No, it's just hereditary. I had crystals loose in my ear when I went to the ENT, and I went to the chiropractor too.
So I did the light color first because now that I'm doing this old school, it's all on my rag here, my paper towel.
All right. These are mostly dry, so I'm going to work on our plates. We're going to come back to this. Oh. Well, luckily, I still haven't painted the bottom of these because there's purple paint under here. So these, if you recall earlier, we put the paint inlay on them. Look, I called them the right thing. At least once. I'm going to paint the backs later when we're not live anymore. They've gotten cloudy. The paint has mostly dried. I'm going to heat gun it a little bit just to dry the rest of the paint. And then we'll get them wet one more time and then reveal the image underneath.
Just want to clean up this edge a little. I forgot this side. So just tiny amounts of this tung oil. It's taken pretty much nothing to do this.
You should just let it dry for a couple of hours. We're live TV, so we're moving things along. Tung oil is a sealant. Yes, it is.
Sealer
Did
works
you use
on
ink on that? And
it
then
works on
it?
wood. You can use it on wood floors. You can use it on wood countertops, butcher block, cutting boards, rolling pins, wooden spoons, all that kind of stuff.
So I'm going back over this paint inlay and I'm getting it wet.
It works on big pieces of furniture too. Like you can use it for everything. Seal it all up. Okay, I'm going to put this to a side, let it dry out for a minute, and then we'll show it again at the end.
Basically, just get it wet to release the paint, and then you can peel it up.
Did you not know Cooper was here?
Did they not know we're live?
Shh. Cooper's like laying on the couch. Odelia went back to school after lunch, but Cooper's done with classes. I went and grabbed sandpaper. He's just like, hey.
So you guys
I was not even surprised that he was there.
The image is transferring on.
Nice.
The inlay is transferring on to the plate. It's still a little wet because I didn't let it dry 2 hours, but there we go. Zeb, can you make it's looking a little blurry. Can you tap the screen?
So it can focus,
Can you get
yes.
the full, ooh la la.
And there is a little halo where she got the paint wet, but once that dries, that's all going to go away.
That'll go away. And you can also, like, if you get a little line where the inlay was, you can wait till it's all the way dry and like lightly sand it and then touch that up with paint.
That's good.
But people think that the paint inlays are really hard, and they're not. Like, you just have to do the right steps in the right order and you can get it to work. Now, here's the other thing. Once that's dry, before you distress it, you need to take a spray bottle with half water-based sealer and half water, shake it up, and you're going to set the inlay. So you're going to spray it, let it dry, spray it again, let it dry, and that will set the paint, because this paint will powder. It's water soluble, just like regular paint, and you don't want it to smear. However, the other day, I did just lightly go over it with wax, and then I waxed the rest of my piece, and it was fine, and I was delicate about it. But best practice is to set your inlay. Okay.
I don't think we're going to get to molds. I have them out and I had some resin ready to go, but I don't know that we're going to make it to the molds today. So these are some of the new molds. This is Dewdrop Pond. If you're looking for it on the website,
we'll have to use it later.
I do have some stuff already poured from it. There's a little lizard, also the butterfly, and we're going to do some fun things with like little pots and things for these. Maybe even put some in our garden around. This is the Hidden Hollow, which is 3 kind of fairy doors. We had someone was in the shop yesterday and I showed her these and she's like, I'm going to get those. And you know where I'm going to put them? I'm going to put little doors on all my trees outside, like little fairy doors all over the place.
Now Adelia wants to do it on all of our trees.
And I thought, I was like, well, that's awesome. And then this is probably the most popular one so far, all the mushrooms. If you don't know, mushrooms are, the 70s mushrooms, they're back. They're all over the place in home decor. And if you haven't seen them yet, you will.
Here, this one, I think it was a little wrinkled when I put it on, so it's not perfect, but you can show it. And yes, you can use the paint inlays more than once, up to 3 times. They fade with each use. And if there's any paint on them, like the base color, that will go on to your next piece.
You did pretty good, though, getting it to go over the edge of this lip.
Well, if I can do it, proof positive, anybody can do it. I mean, I couldn't even complete great sentences today, and I used paint inlays. So, and it's not like I do these all the time. We haven't done an inlay for months. And then the other day we did one when these came out, and it turned out fine.
What color were you wanting this to go? We've got a lot of crinoline out.
Well, it's 10:59.
Oh,
so.
I have 11:01.
Oh.
You gonna show them? Let me go get my other stuff that I just finished.
Yeah, why don't we just show them what we got done? That way you can eat breakfast. And I will try to get all of these finished today. And I'll do a little short and a reel for Facebook and for YouTube so you guys can see all my projects.
Okay, this is the tray that we did. It's not quite dry, so it's still got some highs and lows in the paint. This is the bungalow transfer. I used 2 sheets of that. Not even the whole sheets, just 2 sheets separately so I could get one side and the other side. And there's 8 sheets in that one. And then
that one's still drying. That's why there's a bunch of, here's this plate. Oh, I'm trying to, there we go. Had to cover my face so that way it wouldn't. It's mostly centered. That's the one that I was like, well.
This is the stamped rolling pin. I did use IOD Decor ink on this. And then this is crinoline underneath, black Decor ink on the Antiquities stamp, and then old school on the handle. But
I found this on the web.
Oh, stop it. You didn't find it on the web.
So it's a good question, Brendan. It says, I have apothecary and I want to make something more farm fresh. What can I add? So I would say add a little bit of blue to it and you're going to get close. It's kind of a hard color to get exact because it's a smoky blue-green, and I feel like smoky colors are elusive. But if you add a little bit of blue to your apothecary, it'll get a little bit more farm freshy.
This needs distressed and sealed, but it's almost done. We actually use IOD mold. What's this one? What is it? Shoot, now I can't remember. Jamie.
Olive Crest.
Olive Crest is where you get this mold from. And then this is the new borders pack. Because we have a couple borders
packs. It's the Transferware borders pack.
Transferware. I was trying to call it Victorian for whatever reason.
All right.
Transferware borders pack. And you can see my hands are a little greasy from using that tung oil. We will get this distressed, sealed up, and that'll be ready to go.
It wasn't quite all the way dry, so some of the base color came off, but I actually think this one turned out
hold it right
pretty
there,
cool.
and I'll zoom in on it.
Okay. So some of that black from the base came through, but I stinking love this, so not sad about that. All right, we're going to get everything painted up here. I will do a reel later. Oh, I have one more plate. How did this get put over here? Did you move that over there? Or did I set that over there? I don't remember doing that. All right, and the inlay that I've been using, it's got 8 sheets of these, so tons more than I'm actually using, and it's called Melange. And I did call it an inlay. Look at that. Called it the right thing.
Yeah, you did.
I'm just going to get this one.
And we will save these and use them on something crinoline later.
Or on another color if I want to like
little halo.
Layer it up, you know?
Oh, that one turned out really good.
Ta-da! All right, guys, thanks for joining us. Shop JamieRayVintage.com for the paint and products you saw used here today. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jamie Ray Vintage for more
DIY.
Have a great day. We'll see you later.